Thank you so much for joining today in the brand new Miracle Healing Lab. We have 2 more sessions. This is the 4 final, and next week there's 1 more. And then we get started with something else, whatever that's going to be. So I don't want to run too far in the future. So let's stay right here. Today we have a beautiful lesson that I actually use to support the idea of the cloud of unknowing, because we started it on Sunday, and I hope something starts to dawn on you about what it actually is. And we'll see how that works. So it's like the via negativa, as it was shared in the 1400s, the via negativa. It's like the way of darkness, the way of not knowing, the way of unknowing, the way of stepping into the void without knowing what is going to happen, and specifically not trying to understand what is going on. And that specific part is very, very helpful in awakening. Now we go pretty far today in the cloud of unknowing, because it is like the essence is to wake up from a dream of limitation and to leave that dream for what it is, not to do anything with it. And that's the hard part. So it's like the waking up is not difficult, but knowing that you're still holding on to a dream or an outcome in a dream or differences in a dream that you think matter, keeps you in the dream, because there are no differences and there are no opposites. But in your mind, it seems like that seems to be very, very important. So here's like, okay, I choose to have this background. I could have chosen a different one, but I chose this one. I really like this one. Now, as if that matters. No, it does not matter. But I choose one. And now I've chosen this one and I really like it. No. Does that matter? No. I let it go. If it changes or I don't have a background at all, does that matter? No, not at all. Does that change who I truly am? No, it doesn't. Well, this is what is actually the matter then. So if I dream a dream of limitation, of sickness, pain and death, I really have to want to make that true for myself. Otherwise it would disappear. It would not be there. That's the lesson that we're learning on a daily basis, really. It's like, no, there's nothing, in fact, in opposition. There are no differences. No, God created you perfectly. But what that means, you will not be able to understand. And what that means will be the end of you as you know yourself. Not that you lose yourself, but you lose the idea of yourself. This is all, like, you have heard this 1,000 times. You're like numb to the meaning of it, unless you have an experience with it. Now, this is what we do today, is to come into the experience of, wait a minute, this is a dream, and I'm dreaming it, so I'm part of that dream too. And it has no reality. While it completely absorbs my day and I think differences are being made, or a healing process is taking place, or who knows what, how I describe my dream. I believe in my story. I believe that I came from this and that, and that I did those things, and that happened to me. And this is the situation I'm in now. And all of that is, no, it is not. No, it is not. No. I lose all this. I let this go. There's no world. This is over. This is gone. This is past. Everything that I see is past, is gone. That's simply the truth of the matter. So if I look for differences in this, what is already over, I can look for it for a very long time, but it will not change the nothingness of it. So the nature is nothingness. The nature is meaninglessness. In order to say dive into that, you have to go beyond your intellect, beyond your understanding, beyond the ideas that you hold, beyond your looking for differences, beyond your judgments, beyond all of this, just to let something new occur and let it open up within you. Now, I can say all these things. I've said this 1,000 times too. And now what? Well, stop right here. Stand still. Listen. This is the instruction that we've received too. Stand still. Listen. Don't act from your previous experiences. Don't act from what you think is the best in the situation. Stand still and listen. You don't have to do anything. This dream doesn't need to be changed. It has to be seen for what it is. So this, you can give it a biblical swing. You could say Jesus on the cross came to the point where he discovered, like, none of this is what it looks like. Like, no, I'm home in heaven, and I'll take my friends with me. Those guys on the cross that are hanging here, I'm bringing them home too, because there is no other place. I'm seeing this for what it is. I have no idea about this definition of myself. Doesn't really do it for me. That's not what I am. I'm a holy son of God, and that will not change. I cannot make that change in a dream. I cannot make the dream true in order to change myself into something that I'm not. See, that's not understandable. But you have some great examples, very inspiring examples, and specifically Jesus Christ, because when he let this go, so to speak, when he loosed the world from all he thought it was, and his body and his dream complete, he resurrected. He was completely out of this construct of self-definition, completely. Now this is our example. This is basically all the help that you can get is already given you, because this has occurred. Even your resurrection has occurred. Now that means that you, as you have described yourself, have literally nothing to do with your awakening. With you doing the step of coming into a new experience of yourself, you have literally nothing to do with it. Otherwise, some part of you, as you know yourself, would be true, and there isn't. None of that is true. But who you truly are cannot be changed. It's always there. It is the only thing that is real about you. Now some call it like referring to it as the soul, as the heart, as the soul. And that's great. That's just another word. So it's like, well, it doesn't mean that you know how to do that, or that you now can save a little part of yourself at least. Okay, that's my soul. Now I know my soul does it, so now I can keep that idea about myself and wake up. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you will have to go into that darkness. You could say, you have to go into the darkness of not knowing what is going to happen, the total impossibility, as we said on Monday. Like, it is totally impossible. There's no way out for you in that sense. There's no way out because there is a way out, but it has nothing to do with you. That's why we admit in the 12 steps, like, I'm powerless over my addiction, and luckily there's a higher power that can restore me to sanity, because I will not be able to do that. And this greater power already did that. That is included. Well, here you have it. So that's so interesting. So the cloud of unknowing is literally that you will not be able to wake yourself up. Yeah, I'm sorry for the bad news. So you will have to die in your humanhood. And how is that? How can you die in your humanhood? Well, by giving up all the ideas that build your world. By giving up all of the aspects that you think is literally supporting you to be you. Give up all hope of that. Or that it's going to change and develop into something beautiful, as a beautiful resurrected or beautiful illuminate mind, whoa, the colors change too, see that? It's like a beautiful illuminate mind, now a bit tinted, that you think you suddenly are. It's like, no, that's not the case. The cloud of unknowing, stepping into the darkness and basically losing yourself there. The one that is true about you is resurrecting by itself, and it has been resurrected, and it is present right here, right, standing right next to you, you could say. So that's the interesting part in this cloud of unknowing. So you will hear that word today a couple of times. We look at it with the artists that are supporting these ideas with their own inspiration that came to them. These inspirations came to them. You cannot think of, it's really beautiful what we share. Now here, first we go to our Course in Miracles, lesson 132. I lose the world from all I thought it was. Now that's a typical cloud of unknowing lesson. A typical via negativa. Cloud of unknowing. That's hardly readable, but I really love it. I really gotta wanna read it. I lose the world from all I thought it was. What keeps the world in chains but your beliefs? And what can save the world except yourself? Your true self. Yourself. Belief is powerful indeed. Indeed, the thoughts you hold are mighty, and illusions are as strong in their effects as is the truth. That's the pain that you're feeling. That is the hurt. That is the sickness. That's the death you see around you. That's all this. Like, illusions are as strong in their effects as is the truth. Suddenly somebody appears to be not there anymore. A madman thinks the world he sees is real and does not doubt it, nor can he be swayed by questioning his thoughts' effects. So a madman thinks the world he sees is real and does not doubt it. Well, that's very common. We call that a human being. So a human being doesn't see himself as a madman. So Jesus says, no, here, you are a madman if you believe that any of this is true. And you believe that anything here is true, otherwise you would not be here. Now this dream can end today. Nor can he be swayed by questioning his thoughts' effects. Like he doesn't doubt what he's seeing. He thinks it's real. There's no way of reasoning that out of his mind, it seems like. It is but when their source is raised to question that the hope of freedom comes to him at last. Who is the source of all this? What am I seeing? Where's that coming from? It's coming from my own ideas, because I'm a madman thinking that this world is real. And I'm the one who thinks those things and suffer the consequences of it. It's time for me to wake up. So it is but when the source is raised to question that the hope of freedom comes to him at last. Yet is salvation easily achieved, for anyone is free to change his mind. That's how easy that is. It seems like very easy. Yet is salvation easily achieved, for anyone is free to change his mind, and all his thoughts change with it. Now the source of thought has shifted, for to change your mind means you have changed the source of all ideas you think or ever thought, or yet will think. You free the past from what you thought before. You free the future from all ancient thoughts of seeking what you do not want to find. The present now remains the only time. Here in the present is the world set free. For as you let the past be lifted and release the future from your ancient fears, you find escape and give it to the world. You have enslaved the world with all your fears, your doubts, your miseries, your pain, your tears, and all your sorrows. Press on it, and keep the world a prisoner to your beliefs. Death strikes it everywhere, because you hold the bitter thoughts of death within your mind. The world is nothing in itself. Your mind must give it meaning. Okay, I repeat. You have enslaved the world with all your fears, your doubts, your miseries, your pain, your tears, all your sorrows, press on it and keep the world a prisoner to your belief. Death strikes it everywhere because you hold the bitter thoughts of death within your mind. The world is nothing in itself. Your mind must give it meaning. So the question is then, are you the light of the world? Are you the light of the world? Are you going to set yourself and everyone free of the idea of death, of sickness, of pain, of fears, of all this? It's like, are you willing to do that? That's basically what is asked of you. Like the world, what keeps the world in change but your beliefs? And you keep your beliefs in place as long as you think that you are who you are. This is why we do this. Like, this is a miracle healing lab. We experiment with ideas like, I'm the light of the world. And that means that I'm staying right here. I'm like, in this moment, everything is given for my awakening. And I'm sick and tired of this world. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, I'm not looking for any outcomes in this limited frame of reference. I'm starting to come into myself. I'm starting to come into my kingdom. I seek only the kingdom within me. I seek only the kingdom. In the Cloud of Unknowing in 1400, it was described as, you step into this darkness. You step into the darkness. You don't know. Literally, you don't know how to do this. But there's one spark. That's your longing for God. So here it is, like, I love my God with all of my heart, with all of my mind, with all of my soul. Like, I'm completely dedicated to loving God. That's the only thing I want to express. It's the only thing I want to experience, my love for God. In me receiving that for myself, I extend it to everyone. But also, it's like, in that, I actually experience the love of God directly in where I find myself. This dream is not going to change. There's no better dream. Within the limitations of the human construct, there is no better dream. You think there are differences with, okay, if I had more money, or if I was this, or if I had who knows what kind of body, it would be so nice, and if this happened, that would be nice, and blah blah blah. You have your own scenarios in mind that you strive for in order to get a better dream. But basically, you're just one step away from another disaster that's lurking around the corner. That is not going to change because it is all confined within your limited construct in which you think. And you really think that that is your world. Like, you do not doubt it. A madman sees this world as real and he doesn't doubt it. Now, there is a way out of it, but you cannot look for a better dream and try to upgrade it, or try to find better ways and fix the dream, or like having a great imagination of what the next step will be for you in this dream. No, it leads all to the same, because literally this place isn't real. It will never fulfill. And you don't believe that. That's why you keep repeating the lessons that you do. And in order to come to the place where you finally start to give up and not expect anything from this dream, and recognize the character that you thought you were isn't who you truly are. You want to know who you truly are. You want to know that right now. That's why we say, like, stay in the present moment. That is given to you right now. The only thing is, well, then you might as well just give up any outcome that you wish for in this dream of limitation. It doesn't go together. Holding on, trying to make a better dream, and waking up to the reality of who you are? No, they have no relationship to one another. Not at all. So that's a big shock in the transformational program that you're in, that you chose to do. It's like, this is not trying to live a nice dream and hoping for the best that your mind will be enlightened just by staying and being a good person or something. Like your own scenario, your own plan for salvation. It's not going to work. So you bump into the cloud of unknowing, or nothing is happening. It's really how it is. It's like you either step right into it and give up any hope of a better dream, then you have a chance to wake up. But if you try to improve the dream, you're stuck in it because you made it real, thinking that it matters how it looks. It doesn't matter how it looks. It does not matter how your dream looks. No, you have sufficient experience, so to speak, to recognize that. You had enough pain. That's why you're here. You had enough pain, so now it's the time to wake up out of this dream, giving up every hope of a better dream. Or some kind of entertainment dream where you are doing pretty good and trying to make the best of it. It's like, that's not enough. If you say, like, I'm fine, you're not fine enough. Like, no, you should be ecstatic and completely abiding in the love of God, rejoicing in the love of God. Then you don't have to explain anything to anyone. But if you tell me that you're fine, then basically you're saying, I'm defending myself right now. I'm this madman believing that any of this is real. I'm not willing to step into the cloud of unknowing. I'm just trying to make the best out of this dream. Well, good luck. It's not going to happen. So this is how black and white it is. It's really like that. So seek first the kingdom is the very simple teaching of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Seek first the kingdom. And then it doesn't matter what is going to be given afterwards. No, seek first the kingdom. You will not have a question about fulfillment when you do so. This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. I'm resurrecting. This is my Son in whom I'm well pleased. Well, here we are. That's my reality. And not as I think it is, but as it is. So that's the practice. Apophatic spirituality, the negative way. Now this is what I wanted to share, because basically you're on a path that actually teaches it that way or helps you that way. Apophatic spirituality, the negative way. Most religions use images, story and descriptions to explain God and illustrate God and give examples of what to expect of how it would look. This is called the Apophatic spirituality. Now the cloud of unknowing uses the opposite approach, apophatic spirituality. It argues that because God is infinite, any human description is incomplete and therefore untrue. True progress happens when we strip away all images. If you feel empty or dry during prayer, it isn't a failure. It's a sign that your ego is finally letting go. To give an example. But see, the apophatic spirituality, it argues that because God is infinite, any human description is incomplete. Like it is non-definable. That's why it's unlimited. And if you make a description of it, it would make it untrue. I say this a lot. It's like when you define it, it isn't it. What you define it isn't it. That's impossible. So true progress happens when you strip away all the images, all your investment in the images that you believe to be true. If you feel empty or dry during prayer, it isn't a failure. It's a sign that your ego is finally letting go. Like that is a real interesting idea that is being shared like this. That's my experience with the idea of peace. It's like the first time I really deeply experienced peace, I was like, it was so empty. Like there was literally nothing. There was nothing, and it was so total like it's undefinable, of course, but it's like it's so total, but it's at the same time nothing. And it doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't need anything. It is everything, and it doesn't want to be anything else. Now, these four things are already like amazing as an experience, because when you experience something in your human definition, you think like, well, how would so-and-so think about that or feel that? Or does everyone else has this feeling? Or you start to compare, or you start to compete. Maybe I'm not as enlightened as this other guy, or who knows what. You know, you can have all kinds of considerations. And this is different then. So the pure nature of totality is literally, it looks like it stands still. It is just what it is, but at the same time it is all of it. Unexplainable. So it doesn't make any sense to try to understand this. The cloud of unknowing. So here's Mr. Rothko. He made us literally like the cloud of unknowing. He made paintings that are designed to be empty of objects, stories, or icons. By removing everything the eye can grab onto, he forces the viewer into the luminous darkness. Like the cloud of unknowing. Rothko's art suggests that you do not look at the divine. You sit within it until your egoic boundaries dissolve. In other words, you cannot do it. You cannot get out of it yourself. You cannot heal yourself. You cannot awaken yourself. The thing that wants to awaken is meaningless. Now that's a real push deep into the darkness, the luminous darkness. So here's Bill Viola. We saw some videos of him before, but we're going to watch one more because it's really lovely to see how this from the darkness literally bubbles up into light. By slowing time to a near halt, Viola breaks the cloud of forgetting, the world of distraction, and forces the viewer into a naked intentness. His use of darkness and water often mimics the blindness required to experience the soul's depths. What that means we're going to see, because see, these are words, but now even we're going to present to you a visual art that isn't it either, but you can relate to it. You can come, if you see this live, for instance, in an exhibition, you really experience something. You have resonance with ideas like this. At least, I speak from myself, of course. Now we have Anish Kapoor. Anish Kapoor made this cloud gate in Chicago. The void in the mirror. Well, he made voids and he made mirrors. So the voids would be dark depths where you look into and you cannot see any bottom in it at all. You would disappear into it. And the mirrors are like so incredibly mirrorful that 99.9% of the light is reflected by these objects, making it look real in a certain sense. It makes it look real what you see in the cloud, but at the same time you see that can never be. But actually it is very confusing in terms of if you try to make any of it real, you're mistaken, you get lost. Well, here the description is Kapoor's sculptures often deal with the void space that is so dark or so reflective that the eye cannot find a focal point. You literally cannot actually see the object. Here, we'll look at some of the examples here, but that is like you don't know what you see. There's no place to hold on to any of it. Cloud gate reflects the sky, the cloud of unknowing, and the earth, the cloud of forgetting, in a distorted loop that puts the viewer in the center of a nowhere. Yeah, that's really great. So I made some pictures when I was there, and I want to share them with you. It's like literally, well, good luck. What are you seeing? I must be able to see myself here somewhere making this picture, but you don't even know which part is reflected or not. And then I say, like, all of it is reflected. So if you deal with a hologram, this is what you see. Like, it is reflected. Everything you see is reflected. So in that sense, it's really helpful with an idea. So there's more pictures here. It's like, here are the buildings, here's the people. Which guy is what? Here in this, oh, I cannot find anyone back. Now where is this? What is this? Where does it stop? Like, it's really weird to look at it, and so big, so huge. Now the same with water, in fact. Like, this inspired me to go and make some more pictures. So here I went to the river, and there was like a really sharp sunset on the edge of a building, but it was reflected in the water. The water looked dark and black, and the building was just like curved up as an incredible view. Here's more. It's like unbelievable sharpness and intensity. You would not know what you see. It's just reflected, melted into a fluidity that has nothing to do with the building, except it is a reflection.